Buongiorno and welcome back to Koi Fish Channel. Or should I say something like Hola, buenos dias, ¿cómo está? ¿Qué pasa? ¿What pasa, señorita? I don't know. Anyway, I've just come back from Ibiza, and what do we love as koi keepers when we come back from holiday? Opening up them curtains and seeing a full pond of fish, happy, water full, everything perfect. Did I get that? No, I didn't. I got this. Yeah, so I bust around the corner, opened the curtains, and the water level was, what's that, about a lot lower than it should be. And to be honest, I was a little bit worried, but I was like also like relieved that it hadn't dropped that much. And yes, these are the wife's sunglasses that I stole because I can't find mine as we're unpacking at the minute. So I rushed out, put the water on, and was just thankful that the water leak hadn't dropped the pond water completely out or taken it down to a substantial level that was really detrimental to the fish and their health. So I had been thinking for like a week, 2 weeks before, I was getting intermittent drops of water. So I'd fill up the pond and then I'd go like 5 days and it'd be fine, and then suddenly it'd drop down the next day, and I'm like, so I started to think, because that was happening intermittently, I was thinking something's wrong here. It can't keep happening like that. But you start questioning yourself. I was like, am I seeing things that am I not? And it was happening for like 2-3 weeks before I went. But when I started to measure it, nothing was happening. That was like the week, 2 weeks before holiday. The water level wasn't coming down. So I thought, it'll be fine going on holiday. Come back, and anyway, it's like that. So obviously, it was a storm when we come back on Friday. That really bad storm that's happening. We flew through the storm. So an aeroplane seat this time. I got a window seat this time on the plane, which has been very rare in my life since picking up a wife. That sounded cool. So I videoed actually setting off in the storm. In Ibiza it was very, very windy. It wasn't the storm. I don't know what's going on with the weather. It's just bonkers, but I just know that this storm, whatever it's called, starts with a B, is in the UK, and it's not very good for people at all. But anyway, I videoed setting off, and I videoed through the journey, and I videoed landing through the window, just to reassure people as well, because I am a bit of a nervous flyer, and that actually calmed me down doing that. And also I met someone when I was away that was also a very nervous flyer. So I think sort of seeing some footage of setting off in a storm or landing in a storm might actually be a little bit reassuring. But back to the problem at hand. And the problem at hand is this water level dropping. So yesterday I filled it right back up to the optimal level, which is this. Right, you can see that little welding mark there on the side. I like to have my water level just like level with that top of the welding mark, little welding thing there at the side. And then I can see if there's any fluctuations going up or down, up or down. So I filled it up to that yesterday, 24 hours later now, and it is still at that level. Which means the only thing that I've turned off is my second pump, so my UV light, Tempest, sort of that system. But that's irrelevant anyway, even though I've kept the slide valve shut. It's irrelevant because it feeds from the skimmer, so there'd be water in there anyway, because I haven't figured out a way to block that pipeline, if you like, if there was a leak on that pipeline, without the water level being lower than I'd like it. Okay, so that was my first test while it was filling, if you like, because then the water level was lower initially than the skimmer, so it was enabling me to like sort of fill it up and find out when it went over. If it started leaking profusely through that avenue, then I'd know, but it didn't. So I continued filling up to the optimal level, which included filling up the skimmer, which means that that area is now full of water, which means unless there's an airlock in the system around the back, which is where the leak is, which would be random and weird, and something I just thought about, yeah, because the water could push down and the airlock, it could, in fact, let me flip my way out of it. So if the skimmer there, if this water leak is coming from here and the water's filled up there, but then this is pushed into like an airlock across the back where it drops down again, if there's a leak across this section, that's just going to have an airlock in it. So that won't have exposed the leak if it is across the back here. I could turn it back on today now and trial that, but I'm not going to, because I'm just happy that the water level has been consistent since going to bed last night. I really wouldn't be surprised if this is the case, and this is where what I'm thinking it probably is or could be, is I am having a bit of an issue with this, turning that. It isn't going quite as smoothly as it could do. So you can see there I've disconnected my pipe, which is a waste pipe, from here, just so then I can see if it starts leaking while I'm not doing a filter drop. Everything would be covered in water, like this would be covered in water, there'd be loads of water. Obviously in winter it's going to be covered in a little bit of water, and thankfully it stopped raining now, but I can see that it's sort of not allowing water out of it. But every filter drop I do, I'll just connect this, take it back off, and make sure that nothing is coming through, because I really do think it's this. The other thing is, I've been round and hand tightened some of these yesterday in the storm, or in the rain, because it wasn't dramatically bad here in Manchester, but it was very windy and very cold when we come back from Ibiza. I'm just going to hand tighten them a little bit more, going round each pipe, and also go round and tighten some of the wellies, as a lot of people do during the autumn and the spring as they expand and contract. Oh, did I see a drip of water then? Oh, I did. Keep watching. It's live on camera. Could this happen again? Yep. See it there dripping. Right. Have we found our culprit? Right there, live on camera. Yep, drip. Right. Could that be? Right. Right, so that was interesting, just a few drips there dropping down, but it could be randomly anything. It could be the fact that I've just moved that waste pipe and transferred some water or residue from the rain that's thankfully stopped onto there, and it was just dripping down. I very much doubt that that would drop the substantial amount of water that had come out of the pond within 7 days that I was away. But nonetheless, interesting, and a good reason why I need to walk around really and not test everything, but look at everything. But how do you actually find where your leak is on your pond if it's bloody raining and it's not being like a sort of pouring out visible leak that you could actually see, if it's just like a slow, gentle hiding one? Okay, so the number one culprit that I've got in mind, like I just said then, is the exit ball valve there. May not be, because it seems to be a bit rougher when I'm moving it around than it normally is. I'm starting to think, are you operating 100%? I mean, it is now 4 years old, that ball valve, and obviously they last a lot longer, but you can occasionally get a defective product, which is sort of my luck, because nothing in life is guaranteed, like getting laid in Ibiza. No, I'm joking. I took the wife with this time, which also means I've still never been laid in Ibiza. No, I'm only joking. Right. But on that note of talking about Ibiza, I did video the hotel again. I let the hotel know I was stopping there. Did a little video because I quite enjoyed doing the last one and sharing that sort of experience. I know it's helped a lot of people, especially travelling with kids, to see the hotel, see the layout. When you say you're going to Ibiza, people think, oh, you're going raving. Where you going, mate? Where you going? Next thing out my mouth has been, yeah, I'm taking kids. And they go, all right. But yeah, taking the kids to Ibiza, and the plane was loaded full of kids, families going to Ibiza, which was very, 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 very different experience. Be it that the season has ended, like, what was it, like a month ago for the rockers, the ravers and the misbehavers, which was pretty much me, which actually I went to Ibiza like 20 years ago, and that was my return to Ibiza. But anyway, I stopped at Tui Blue Aura, which is like a kids hotel. I think it's an exclusively kids hotel, or I think it'd be very unusual. You didn't see, it's a hotel that caters for kids, that is predominantly, I think it is like all families, everyone's got a kid there, which is good and bad at the same time. Especially before I went, I was very reserved about going to a hotel where everybody had kids, because I thought sometimes there's times I want to get away from kids. Like, is there a dad's corner where they can go and chill for a little bit? I'm waffling on anyway. I've done the video on the hotel, and I've not edited it or looked at it properly or done anything with it, but it will be coming hopefully very soon to the channel, and hopefully it will shed a bit of light on what it's like for families travelling to Ibiza, what the hotel's like, what the location's right. Yes, it does contain fish again. Maybe not koi fish this time, but it does contain fish, which is awesome. So, back to what's going on with this pond. I've waffled on and I've gone off on a tangent. I haven't found the problem yet. I haven't found the issue. I can't bring a definitive answer to you. I can just tell you that I've returned from holiday with my suitcase, opened the curtains and thought, shh, right? So I started filling it straight away, and the water level has stayed the same, which sort of suggests either there's a leak in the airlock part of the skimmer system around the back, which I've shown you then, or it's something that I control. And the only thing that I can think of that I control or mess around with is the bottom of the nexus, is the bottom of the filter there. So I'm thinking intermittently, is there a issue with that? But we will find out in the near future. I'm hoping, obviously, I very much doubt, but it would be worst case scenario is something's gone wrong with the pond, as in there's been a bit of movement in the ground, or, oh God, the more I think about that, the worse it gets. I don't know, could there be movement in the ground? The big tree behind us? Could that have moved in the storm and cracked me fiberglass in? No, actually, because why would it stop now? No, yeah, that would be completely wrong, because if the tree had moved with the roots and that displaced my fiberglass in and caused a leak in the pond would still be leaking now. And due to the fact that that had dropped what? I think the distance was about that, which is about 6 inches. Is it? I don't know. If you're a man, probably going to claim that's 10 inches. But probably about 6 inches, I'd say 6-7 inches. It's dropped down, which if it's like a drippy leak, like a slow drippy leak, 4.5 meters long by 1.8 meters, that's a substantial drop and loss in water. And don't think that can come from 1 week's leaking, especially with it being raining as well. From 1 week's leaking, I don't think that would be a little tiny leak. The more I talk about this, the more it suggests that the problem is really something of those two things I've mentioned, which is the dodgy ball valve on the end of the nexus, or some part of the pond that's airlocked at the back which isn't getting water at the minute, which would be absolutely random, but obviously helpful for the fact it would be up in the sky. It's just a bit annoying, it's so rainy. Well, I say that it's so rainy and then look at the sky. It's making me out to be a bloody liar. But I hope it stays dry here, and then I will be able to identify and find this leak. Every day I'm coming out and I'm checking. We'll go back round. In fact, let's have a little wander to the front of the pond now, and show you exactly where my pond level is. So you can see there, that's what I'll line it up with here. Perfect. And that's the reason for this all being underneath here and feeding round, is because I returned and the storm was still rocking and rolling. I couldn't get it to fire straight in, so I put that additional hose pipe around, which allowed it to go into the pond. Let's have a look at the fish before we go. Look at them. There's my Karachi baby. Oop. Oh, and now you can see my flip-flops, and the first time I've ever had pants on. Okay, lovely jubbly. Boom. Okay, so there you go, an additional little great bonus to prove that all 6 fish are still alive in the pond. Okay, I'll update you soon about the leak, and I hope you look forward to seeing the video of Ibiza and a family of 4 visiting Ibiza. And bloody hell did I meet some amazing people when I was there. Really, some absolutely beautiful souls. Take care guys, have a great week,